2025. So we are in session 3 today. So you've already would have had sessions 1 and 2 with GP sir and Gautam Bawa yesterday. And continuing that streak forward, we will have the session 3 today, wherein we will solve the IPMAT 2022 quant sections. So there are 2 quant sections in IPMAT. The no options without MCQs and with MCQs. So today's agenda would be basically to take you through how you would have attempted these 2 sections of quant, and what would have been the strategy, which questions should have been done, which questions should have not been done, because that is very important in any timed aptitude test. I think selection of questions becomes extremely critical. As GP sir was also pointing out the first day, it's about not only what you attempt, it's also about what you leave. Because in 40 minutes, when you get in each section, it is extremely critical for me to optimize every minute of my attempt. Okay, so I'm just skipping through these slides because this is already known information and we have repeated this for last 2 days. So these are the colleges which you can aim at through the IIM Indore IPMAT exam. Indore, Shillong, Ranchi, 3 of them very important. And Amritsar though new, but anybody attempting for IPMAT now gets in 5 years time. So by that time, perhaps Amritsar, Sirmaur, these new IIMs would have also kind of found their feet. This is the pattern. We all know +4 for a right answer and -1 for a wrong answer. Okay. And sectional time limits are there, and there are sectional cutoffs. Also, there are overall cutoffs. That is very important. There are sectional cutoffs and there are overall cutoffs. You have to be really very careful about that. So let's discuss the cutoffs. 2022, the general category cutoff for the first QA section was 20 marks, and for the second QA was 43. So 20 would mean roughly 5 questions correct here, and 43 would mean 11 questions correct here. That was basically the idea. And English, of course, as you see, has a major role to play in being able to achieve the overall score. Now, first section, which has around 15 questions. So here we are saying that the cutoff would have been achieved even if you got 5 questions correct. Even some negatives, I say, then might be 6 questions correct is safe for the cutoffs. So roughly, out of these 15 questions, I think we need to attempt roughly 10 questions. Okay, and perhaps get at least 8 of them correct here. If 2 of them is also wrong, then I am safe enough to get cutoffs. Even if instead of 10 you are able to attempt, let's say 8, it doesn't matter. Even 8 questions attempt is good enough to be able to clear the cutoff here. The second section, which has 30 questions and is a much simpler section compared to the first one, cutoff is around 11 right questions. So then I'm assuming that minimum attempts here have to be 15, in which if I suppose get around 12 to 13 correct and 2 to 3 incorrect, I'm able to achieve my sectional cutoffs. But one very important thing which we need to keep in mind here is the overall cutoff, if I look at it, is around 236, which is roughly 60 marks plus the sectional sums. So if you look at 24 ka, I think this overall cutoff is for 24 plus 35 plus 113, that comes to roughly 172, and we are looking at an overall cutoff of 236. So 60 to 65 marks we need to add more over and above the sectional cutoffs. And I think that is where we really need to understand from where will those extra 60, 15, 65 means 16, 17 extra questions have to be, attempted correctly over and above the minimum. Now here I think the major section where these extra numbers can come from is this section. This is where you need to really press the escalator and score a lot of marks, much more than what the cutoffs are suggested. In fact, I would say that अगर 40-43 का कट ऑफ हम लोग बोल रहे हैं, we need to at least look at a 70 का score here. Otherwise, getting a 230 plus will become a serious challenge. See, because in English already we are stretched 112, 120 already, and there are 45 questions. So out of 180 marks, how much can you score extra? Even if I get a 140 out of 180, maximum I can look at 20, 25 marks plus in BA over above the cutoffs. So which means if I need to get a 60 plus, I need to minimum get a 30 plus here, which means 8 extra questions have to be attempted. So मुझे को लगता है out of 30 questions, IIM Indore, अगर आपको if you're looking at IIM Indore, you need to be attempting around 20-22 questions here minimum and get roughly 20 correct. So 22-23 questions need to be looked at, and then only that overall cutoff can be breached, because in this section, this is a tough section, not a very easy one. And if you look at, I will share with you the questions as we move forward. I think out of 15 questions, attempting more than 10 here is a very tall order. So अगर मैं best case scenario में लेता हूँ, for me to cross 30-35 in this section is difficult, which means maximum over the cutoff I can score a 15 plus here. That is on the higher side. So if I look at that 60-65 extra marks to be scored over and above the minimum cutoffs, I need to look at this 15-30-20. Okay, 15 is max, 20 is also, I think, almost we are reaching the maximum. So I think the second section, which is the MCQ based QA, is where we need to really push it on. And questions are easy here. You can really push it because your speeds will differ. See, in the first section, when I'm looking at maximum 10-12 attempts, we are looking at 3-4 minutes per question. Okay, so in the first section here, we are looking at 3 to 4 minutes per question. Whereas in the second section, we are not even looking at 2 minutes per question. I would go ahead and say 1.5 minutes per question here. So there is a marked difference in your speed when you attempt the first section and then you attempt the second section. And one has to be really very clear in their mindset that that speed shift has to be done very, very comfortably. ये पहला 40 मिनट में आप 3-4 मिनट एक क्वेश्चन पे ले रहे हो, नेक्स्ट 40 मिनट में सडनली यू गोइंग टू डबल योर स्पीड. Mentally, I have to be really tuned in to do that. And I think that is very, very critical if IIM Indore is seriously to be looked at. Okay, so keeping in mind around 10 questions around in first section and around 20 to 23 questions in the second section. Let us now move forward towards the questions. Okay, I have a question here. Ronit, are the cutoffs same for Nirma? No, Ronit, Nirma ke liye cutoffs will be significantly lower. So if I come to this slide, we are looking at a 236 plus here in IIM Indore. Then definitely for Nirma, this cutoff can actually come down to as low as 200. As low as 200. Okay. So don't worry about that. Yeah. So I hope, Ronit, that answers this. Yeah. Overall, I think, Ronit, I think 200 should be safe for Nirma. So sectional cutoffs will also be marginally lower. I'm sure Nirma, in fact, might not have sectional cutoffs. I am not very sure about sectional cutoffs of Nirma, but I think overall 200 will be a safe score. Let's now move to the first question. So what I'll do is, the way we'll run this this particular session, in the first section out of 15 questions, I will solve some of them, and with me I have Ronit sir, Sujoy sir with me, and he will also solve a few questions with you. So let's begin with first set. So certain questions I will solve, certain Sujoy sir will take it. So I'll start with question 4. So and what I have done is, if you see here, I have marked every question. I have put an R1 or an R2 or an R3 here. So R1 means that I need to attempt this question in the first shot very quickly. R1 means the easiest ones I should have definitely attempted. R2 will be the ones which will take some extra time. Okay, I might not want to do them in the first lot. The second lot, I will definitely want to do it. And R3 would mean they are difficult. They should have been left right away at the outset. Okay, now of course R1, R2, R3 could differ slightly based on your own competencies and your own liking and disliking, but more or less it will remain that way. Okay, so looking at question number 4, let's start with that. When Geeta increases her speed from 12 to 20, she takes 1 hour less than her usual time. Now we have done a very similar questions earlier in this time speed distance chapter. Speed is in the ratio of 3:5, which means time will be in the ratio of 5:3. Okay, and the time gap here is 1 hour, which means that the ratio gap is 2. If 2 is equivalent to 60 minutes, then 5 is equivalent to 100 minutes, which means, and 3 is equivalent to 90 minutes. Sorry, 150 minutes, 30 times. This is 90 minutes. So which means originally he was taking 150 minutes at a speed of 12 kilometers per hour. Okay, so the distance therefore will be 12 into 150 by 60, which is straight away 30 kilometers. So this kind of question is to be attempted and should be done in 1 minute. So when I'm saying 3 to 4 minutes ka average, 3 to 4 minutes ka average, it doesn't mean that every question will take 3 to 4 minutes. There could be questions like this which could take a minute. There could be certain difficult questions which could take 4-5 minutes also. Okay, yes, I think somebody has said 30 kilometers. That's correct. So moving to the next question. This is a slightly difficult question, but if you are able to spot a very clear trend here, then you will be able to attempt this question very easily. It says 3rd, 14th and 69th term of an AP form 3 distinct and consecutive terms of a GP. 3rd, 14th and 69th. The next term of the GP is the nth term of the AP. तो ये आपको निकालना है वो कौन सा टर्म होगा, because this is the first term of the GP, this is the second term of the GP, this is the third term of the GP, and this is the fourth term of the GP. So now the gap between 3 and 14 is 11, the gap between 14 and 69 is 55, that is into 5 times, the relationship is into 5. If I do the same thing here, the gap should have been 275. 69 plus 275, that is 344, which means the 344th term in this AP will be the 4th term in the new GP. So if you are able to spot this kind of a trend, then this question was in R1, but for some of us this question might not have sounded very easy, and hence you would have then perhaps gone ahead and leave this question. But if this trend was spottable, then I think this question could have been done easily, and within a minute you could have cracked it, because the trend was very easily visible. Question 6 is slightly longish, but profit and loss is always something arithmetic. I mean, my favorite, and perhaps most of you would also agree with me that they are the ones to be always attempted and very seldom left. So certain number of apples Aruna purchases INR 20 and a certain number at INR 25. So 20 rupees she is purchasing a few apples, I don't know how many, and at 25 she is purchasing a few mangoes. Apples, mangoes. She sells all the apples at 10% profit and all the mangoes at 20% loss. Then overall she makes neither profit nor loss. Now per unit, if you are making a 10% profit, your profit is 2 rupees here, profit, and here 20% is the loss, which means 5 rupees. So if you give an allegation here, एक जगह आपको 2 रुपया per apple आ रहा है, एक 5 रुपया per mango you are losing. Overall your situation is neither profit nor loss, which means I can clearly say my apple to mango ratio will be 5:2. Are you okay with this, guys? I think I need to get a few confirmations from the chat to just understand that you are following me. A few of you, if you could just tell me your understanding, it's fine. Then I think it'll be reassuring for me to that I'm being heard. I'm waiting for a few more responses. Are you with me on this? But the first two questions, okay, I think I should have asked you earlier itself. The ABGP and the speed questions, were they fine, guys? A little more. Adit Garg says yes. Some of you more, 3-4 more responses would be helpful. Rock, would appreciate if you had your real names in the chat box. It would be easier for me to relate to them. So till here, applying allegation. So apples to mango, sorry. Apple to mango is 5:2. Are you okay with this? Now it says, instead, if she sells all the apples at 20% loss and all the mangoes at 10% profit, overall she makes a INR loss of 150. अभी I can assume that 5 and 2 है, आप उसको 5x 2x भी ले सकते हैं, आप उसको कोई भी हाइपोथेटिकल क्वांटिटी लेके अपना प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस निकाल लीजिए. ओके, सो लेट्स से मेरे पास 5 एप्पल, आई अज्यूम दैट आई हैव 5 एप्पल्स एंड आई हैव 2 मैंगोज. ओके, सो माय CP for 5 apples is 100 and for 2 mangoes is 50. So I'm making a 20% loss on the apple. So minus 20 on the apples and 10% profit, means 5 profit on the mangoes. So overall, I am making a loss of 15 rupees. But here it says the loss is 150, 10 times. Means my quantity will also be 10 times. Therefore, the actual number of apples will be 5 into 10. So answer will be 50. So I don't need to take any X here. Okay, can you explain again how you got the ratio of apple and mango? We can use allegation warrior gaming. That's what your name is there in the chat box. So if you are aware of Apple, the allegation method, then this should have been clear to you. I am making 2 rupees profit per apple. I am making 5 rupees loss per mango. Overall, I am making no profit, no loss. And hence, I can get the ratio of my apples and mangoes. Is that clear? So in such cases, you can, after we get the ratio, you can take any hypothetical quantity. आप 5 2 मैंने लिया, 50 20 ले सकते थे, आप 10 4 ले सकते थे, आप कुछ भी लेके अपना लॉस निकाल लो, compare it with the actual loss given in the question and accordingly extrapolate the quantity. Okay, now I'll move to question. So question 9 में जाता हूं मैं. Now here again, this is a very, very simple question. I mean, absolute sitter and a very surprising question in this section. Number of triangles that can be formed by choosing points from 7 on one line and 5 on another parallel line. तो एक लाइन में आपके पास 7 पॉइंट है, सॉरी, और एक पैरेलल लाइन में आपके पास 5 पॉइंट है. अब obviously for a triangle I need 3 points. So I can take 2 points from the first line and 1 point from the second line, or I can take 1 point from the first line and 2 points from the second line. 7C2 is 21 into 5, that's 105, and 7C1 is 7 into 5C2, that's 10. So 105 plus 70, the answer therefore will become 170. And these are absolute gifts, and really we need to make this very, very fast. and we should not be wasting time in such questions. इसको आपको half a minute, 1 minute में करना पड़ेगा. Any doubts here? Till here, is it okay? I think there's a bit of lag in what I am saying, and it's being written on the screen. So I will just pause for a moment for this question to be displayed on the screen for everybody, and get a thumbs up from people who are there in the session so that we can move forward. Great. Adit, are you okay? AS? Piraji? Couple of names I can see on the screens. You could just quickly respond. Is it fine till now? Are you okay with the session? कोई issue हो रहा है? Am I going too fast? Now, if you look at the next question, which is again is an R1. So maximum R1 करना हो अभी आपके लिए, the easier ones. A new sequence is obtained from the sequence of positive numbers 1, 2, 3 series of natural numbers by deleting all perfect squares. The 2022nd term of the new sequence has to be found. So first thing here I need to understand that मेरे पास एक natural number का sequence है, इसमें से मैं सारे perfect squares को delete कर रहा हूँ, like 1 हट जाएगा, 4 हट जाएगा, 9 हट जाएगा, and so on so forth. So first thing is try to think of a square number above this. इससे ज्यादा इसलिए सोच रहे because a lot of numbers are getting deleted. So better to think of a square above 2022. The first square which comes to mind is 2025, which is nothing but 45 square. इसका मतलब क्या है कि 1 से लेके अगर हम जाते हैं 2025 तक, इसमें 45 स्क्वायर नंबर्स आएंगे. So 45 numbers will be deleted in this order or in this group of 2025 numbers, which means that 2025 से अगर मैं 45 माइनस कर दूं, I am getting 1980, which means 2026 is the 1981st term. वन से 2025 तक 45 terms will be deleted, which means 1980 term बचेंगे. So 2025 के बाद जो कि 2026 अगर आएगा, that will be the 1981st term. मेरे को निकालना है 2022nd term. So 1981 से 2022 अगर आप देखते हैं, I am going ahead by how many numbers? 41. So plus 41. So 2067 would be the 2022nd term. Remember, there is no square number in this bracket of 2026 to 2067. The next square number will be 46 square, which will be 46 square is 2116. So that is much ahead compared to my series. So therefore the 2022nd term will be 2067. Is that clear? Not a very simple question though, but I think even if I devote 3 minutes to this question, I will be able to easily crack it. There is no conceptual difficulty. It will take some time to solve. So if there are questions which takes a minute, there would be questions which take more. Clear with this? Okay, can we add 42? Yes, you can do that. Absolutely. You can add 42 to that. No problem. And now moving to question 14. Not a very easy question on sitting arrangements, perm com. So for people whose perm com is good, circular arrangements, they should have looked at this question. Otherwise, perhaps you could have avoided it. Mr. and Mrs. Sharma, Mr. and Mrs. Ahuja, along with 4 other persons. So we are looking at a sitting arrangement with 8 chairs. Mr. and Mrs. Sharma are to be seated next to each other. Abhi, obviously, in circular arrangement, we fix one person. So let me fix, let's say, Mr. Sharma. If I fix Mr. Sharma, then Mrs. Sharma has to go next to him. Now she has 2 choices. So 2. Mrs. Sharma can go left of Mr. Sharma or right of Mr. Sharma. Let's assume she is going here. But she had 2 choices. Now it says Mrs. and Mr. Ahuja are not to be seated next to each other. Are not to be seated next to each other. अब उसमें हम लोग बनाते हैं. So there are 6 more chairs to be arranged here. So total अगर हम इसको लेते हैं 6 factorial, there are 720 ways the other 6 people can be arranged. But in those 720, those arrangements have to be eliminated when Mr. and Mrs. Ahuja are sitting together. So if I assume Mr. and Mrs. Ahuja to be 1 unit, there will be 5 such units. So now Mr. and Mrs. Ahuja can be sitting this place. I mean, they can sit. If I number the chairs, let me number the chairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In 720 ways, the other 6 people can arrange themselves. I hope till here it is okay. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Ahuja can sit or rather we can say this way, that out of 6 people, if I fix 1 as together, then 5 factorial 120 ways they can be arranged. Into 2 I will do, because Mr. and Mrs. Ahuja can also interchange amongst themselves. So therefore, number of arrangements in which Mr. and Mrs. Ahuja do not sit together will be 480. Can I say that? 720 was total for 6 people. 240 are those arrangements where Mr. and Mrs. Ahuja sit next to each other. I eliminate that. So I get 480 cases into 2, because Mr. and Mrs. Sharma could have seated in 2 ways. So total there will be 960 ways. Not only those people who are very good in circular sitting arrangement in POM-COM should have looked at it, or perhaps would have avoided it. Because in non-MCQs, there is always that, you don't get that confidence that I'm getting the right answer, especially in POM-COM. Okay, is this clear, guys? Is everybody with me on this? Few responses, please. All right. 15th question, difficult one. I would have rather not attempted this question, but let me at least quickly explain it to you. 50 distinct positive integers be chosen such that the highest among them is 100. So I have A1 greater than A2 greater than A3 like this till A50. Average of the largest 25 integers among them exceeds the average of the remaining integers by 50. So which means A1 plus A2 till A25. These are the largest 25 integers. Now this is equal to A26, A27, A28 till A50 plus 1250. Now 125 from where am I getting? 50 is the difference. Average of the largest 25 exceeds average of the remaining 25 by 50. So 50 into 25, that means difference in their sums is 1250. अगर आप दोनों को 25 से डिवाइड करोगे एंड इक्वल टू 50 करोगे तो क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई करके 1250 आएगा. अभी मेरे को क्या निकालना है? मैक्सिमम सम ऑफ ऑल 50 इंटीजर्स. ठीक है. अभी आई नो हाईएस्ट अमंग देम इज 100. सो अगर A1 100 होगा तो हाईएस्ट वैल्यूज क्या होंगे? इफ लेट्स से A1 is 100, then highest values will be 99, 98 like this, where A50 will become 51. No, but we have to also understand ये highest हो सकता है, लेकिन problem is the top 5 का top 25 का average exceeds the bottom 25 का average by 50. इसके मतलब A1 और A26 में 50 का गैप होगा, A2 और A27 में 50 का गैप होगा. इस तरह से अगर हम करते हैं इसको, and I assume A1 is 100 and A25 is 76, that are the highest 25 values I can take, which means A26 का value then highest will become, जब 50 का गैप लेते हैं तो ये हो जाएगा 50, 49 and till 26. So A26 to A50 का maximum value can be when I take values from 50 onwards till 26. अगर मैं 100 से लेके 51 तक लूंगा, then average will differ by 25. This number will not become 50. If this number is differing by 50, मतलब if I mark one term to one term, A1 with 826, A2 to 827, A3 to 828 like that, then every term will have a gap of 50. तभी मेरा average 50 से change होगा. So now I have just add these values. 26 to 50 मुझे add करना है, and so if you just add them up, the total I think will come to 3150. The important thing to note here is what value should I take so that I get this maximum. That is I think the crux. Because यहाँ पे continuous होना जरूरी नहीं है. अगर maximum 100 है तो A2 can become 90 also, A2 can become 80 also. But I have to give maximum. So therefore for maximum I should take that A1 to A25 is 100 से 76. So the maximum 25 values I can take. Are you following that? Guys, are you following it? I can hear some background noise. Guys, is it okay? Have you followed that? So now I will just ask Sujoy to come in and please solve the remaining questions in the first 15. Then I will go to the second section.
Hello everyone, am I audible? Yeah, hello guys. I hope you can hear me. Hello. Uh, okay, I'll just check once. 1 second, guys. Can you respond once? Yeah, I think you can follow me. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. So we'll start with the first question. So we'll just do the questions that starting with the remaining questions from the first section. Okay, the non MCQ types. So the first question was this. So sum of the coefficient of all the terms of this expansion. Now, if you realize that any binomial, polynomial expansion, if you do like any trinomial, whatever I expand, hello guys. Sorry for the confusion. I guess I dropped out for some reason. I don't know. Yeah, I'll just repeat this entire thing. Okay. Were you able to follow the previous question? This one, was it okay? The sum of the coefficients part? Yeah, Heath, I think you have messaged me. I just saw your message. You are not visible and audible. All right, I'll just repeat this again then. All right. Okay, so now it is clear, right? You can see. You still can't access me? I think I am audible. Yeah, yes. Okay, thanks. Yeah. All right, so I was saying that any expansion of this, right? If you want to figure out the sum of coefficients, okay? So then the method is, say I'm saying an example, a plus b squared, okay? I want to find the sum of the coefficients. Now, if you actually check, the expansion comes out to be this. Coefficients, 1 here, and 2 there. Sum of the coefficients will be 4. The point is, I can't keep doing this for big expansions, right? A 4th degree, I have to write all the terms, then add the coefficients. Doesn't make sense. So what we will be doing is somehow try to get rid of the effects of A and B. And the easiest way of doing that is substitute them as 1. Then over here, this now becomes 1 plus 1. See, it matches the sum of coefficients, 4. So we repeat the same thing here. So it is 5 times 1 minus 9 whole raised to 4. So that's negative 4 raised to 4. That comes to 256. That's the sum of coefficients. So this should have been an easy question. You should have, I mean, I think most of you know this, right? Binomial expansion and stuff, how to find out the coefficients. So this should have been done, okay? And it's an easy concept to remember also. Adit followed? Heath and Gaming, Mr. Gaming, if you're there, just put a thumbs up, please. Just to make sure I am not logged out again. No, if you put 0 तो then सब 0 हो जाएगा ना. You put 0, you put A as 0, B as 0, तो सब तो 0 हो जाएगा. 0 times something is 0 only, right? My point is I need the coefficient, I don't need the variable. Got it? I need the coefficient, I don't need the variable. So I'll put 1, not 0. 0 पे तो सब गया. Nothing is left. वही सेम चीज होगा ना. X में if I put 0, then 5 का effect तो चला गया, right? I want that 5 in it, right? Because that will lead to the coefficients. So I'll put X as 1. Always all variables, jitne variables hai, sub 1. If this was 9y, then also I'll put y also as 1, x also as 1. Okay. Chalo, okay. Next question. Now, for these sort of questions, you have to draw the diagram. And the best way of drawing it is to plug in the y and x intercepts on the graph. X intercept का मतलब where does the graph intersect the x axis, and the x axis equation is y equal to 0. तो y 0 डाल दो यहाँ पे. Your equation now becomes this. Ignore the less than, okay? We will come to that later. For the timing, just solve for equal to. Where 3 terms? For this question you were saying? Or for the previous question you were saying? I'll come back to that question. Okay, पहले इसको खत्म कर लेते हैं. Okay, since I've already started. Now I've got these 2 points. Now repeat that for y-intercept. So I'll put now x as 0. यहाँ पे था y as 0, यहाँ पे होगा x as 0. So 3 mod y is 6. So mod y is 2. So y will be 2 or minus 2. How will be the line like? It will be an enclosed region like this. Now the next step is to accommodate this less than thing. Okay, what does this less than lead to? So the easiest way to check which region we are talking of, is it outside or inside or what? Pick the origin 0 0. Substitute, does it satisfy? 0 डालेंगे तो क्या आएगा? 0 plus 0 is less than equal to 6. Yes, true. It is less than, right? Means we are looking at this shaded region. अब इसका एरिया क्या है? This triangle multiply it with 4. This area is what? Half times base, which is 3, times height, which is 2. So this area is 3. 4 है तो answer will be 12. देखो, everyone okay? The chat is coming a little late with the lag, okay? So that's why I'll just wait for a minute just to see if you have any doubts. Meanwhile, I'll just explain. Warrior, your previous question was if you have 3 terms, it doesn't matter how many terms, okay? Even if you have 100 terms and you want to sum up the coefficients, just replace every term with 1, every variable with 1. Okay, plus sign है, minus sign है, कुछ भी हो जाए. Say you want to find a plus b minus c. I'm not writing anything, okay? I'm just telling you orally. So a plus b minus c cube. So you will put a equal to 1, b equal to 1, c equal to 1. And see what the result comes, okay? Does not matter how many terms. ठीक है, everyone okay with this? I'll just move on to the next question then. Yes, here we have a kind of a difficult question here, okay? Something which you ideally should have maybe left out unless you are really good with trigonometry. So here we have sine A and then you also have cos. I don't really want so many terms, right? I need to somehow see, when you see sine and cos, think of sine squared plus cos squared 1 use हो सकता है कि नहीं? Okay, sine squared plus cos squared, can I use it as, can I make a use of this identity? So to get that, square कर दो both the equations, okay? तो ऊपर वाला क्या आएगा? Sin square alpha plus sin square beta plus 2 sin alpha sin beta आएगा. So that I'm just writing on that side. 2 by 3 minus, ठीक है? Sin square alpha plus sin square beta is 2 over 3 minus 2 sin alpha sin beta. नीचे वाले का same method, cos square alpha cos squared beta is 1 by 3 minus 2 cos alpha cos beta. Add sin square plus cos square हो गया 1, sin square plus cos square again is 1, 2/3 plus 1/3 is 1, minus 2 common, sin alpha sin beta plus cos alpha cos beta. Now this is something which you should recognize. Cos A cos B plus sin A sin B is cos of A minus B, right? And you have got 2 and this 1 I will adjust, right? So you are going to now end up with cos of alpha minus beta is negative 1 by 2. Dekho, till here is it fine? Now you have to use another identity. Cos theta is 2 cos square theta by 2. Dekho, you are getting close to what you want. Cos of theta by 2 चाहिए. Cos theta मिल गया है. You need cos theta by 2. So this is 2 cos squared alpha minus beta by 2 minus 1 is minus half. which ends up getting you cos squared alpha minus, just a second. Oops. Yeah, alpha minus beta by 2 will now become what? This 1 will go that side. 1 minus half is half. And then you divide by the 2. So 1 over 4. Now you plug it in here. So this, if you expand, now becomes 20 squared 400 times cos of alpha minus beta by 2 squared, which you know is now 1/4. So the result is a 100. So as I said, not a very easy question, difficult one. So if you are really comfortable and you have solved a lot of trigonometry earlier, then attempt. Otherwise, it's better to skip. Anyone has any doubts? I'll just wait a couple of seconds. The chat is actually a little lagging. Chalo, okay, fine. Next question. So next we are going to do number 7. All right, so this means the power set. So what do you mean by the power set? So it's a set of all the elements of the subsets, right? For example, if I take two elements A and B, the power set will be all of these. The null set also. So that means if I start off with two elements here, the power set is going to have 2 square 4 elements. That's the basic rule. Okay, so if there are n elements, this is 2 to the power n. So now, if I start with the null set, which has one element, which is the null set basically, then the power set of that, after doing one step, will be 2 to the power 1, 2 elements. After that, we have to do it one more time. So the second power set will now have 2 to the power 2, 4 elements. The third one, yeah, sorry, this one, the last one will take, sorry, yeah, the third one will be now having 2 to the power 4, 16 elements. So the answer will be 2 to the power 2 to the power 2 to the power 0. So that will be 16 elements is the answer. Please check if this was okay. So after doing two power sets, you have 2 to the power 1, 2 elements. Then after the third one, it is 2 square, which is 4 elements. And finally, after the fourth one, it will be 2 to the power 4, 16 elements. Please check if you have any confusion regarding this. So this is more like if you know the formula, then you are done basically. See, I am saying again, I'll repeat once more, okay? All right. Why is it not removing? Okay. So you have the null set. So there is 0. Then after one step, now you have how much? 2 to the power 0. So that is one element. And when you take this one now, it will now become 2 to the power 1, 2 elements. and then you take it one more time, so that will become 2 squared, 4 elements, and then finally the last time 2 to the power 4, 16 elements. Now is it okay? So essentially what you have to just do is this: 2 to the power 0. So no, 1 second. 2 to the power 0, that is 1. So the next step is 2 to the power 2 to the power 1, so that is 2. So next step 2 square is 4, and finally there is one more 2 there for the fourth last one here. So 16. Got it now? Yeah, okay. Let's move to the next question then. Number 8. Okay, I have to remove all of this ones. Yeah, now. So here you have a matrix 3 by 3. So they're asking you to do a raised to the power 9. So you have to multiply 9 times, like a raised to the power 9. Keep on multiplying this. Then a to the power 6, then a cube, and then a, then add them up, and then find determinant. Okay, so it's a long thing. Obviously, when you have such a question, there must be some logic to this, some pattern will come up. Let's see. So let's multiply first. This is a straightforward question. If you just try it out, you will get it. Let's do the square of it. So when we multiply, the logic here is the first element here will be the product of the row with the column, right? So 1 with 1, 0 with 0, 0 with 0. So basic multiplication of matrix. So 1 times 1 will be 1, the other terms are 0. Then go to the next one here below it. So that would be this with this. So 0, 0, 1 with 1, 0, 0. So that will come out 0. Then 0, 1, 0 with 0, 1, 0, 0 will be 0. All right. The next one, coming back to the first row, second column. This element, first row, second column. 1, 0, 0 with 0, 0, 1 is 0. Then 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 with 0, 0, 1. So that is 1. Finally, 0, 1, 0 with 0, 0, 1, 0. Last, first row, third column. So 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. Again 0. This will come out 0. And finally, you will end up with 1 here. Okay. Which you get as the identity matrix. So now, once you have identity matrix, if you multiply this with A again for the A cube term, it will come back to A. So we now know that any even power of A is going to be identity. Any odd power of A is going to be. Once we have realized this, now it's very easy. A to the power 9 is just A. So 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. A to the power 6 is identity matrix. A cube is the same as this. A is the same as this. So effectively, in a way, we have 3 times of this. So if I add them up, we'll add positions, right? So 3 times 1 plus 1, we get 4. Then 0 and 0. Then this is 0. Then this is 3 times 0 plus 1. 3 times 1 plus 0. Finally, this is 0. 3 times 1 is 3. And this is 1. So now I need to just expand it. These two are already 0. So when you take the determinant, it's just going to be this number, which is what? Which we'll use. So 4 times 1 minus 9. So that is negative 32. We need the absolute value of that. And hence it is 32. Okay, so once you realize that A squared becomes I, and usually these sort of questions, since you can look at this, ninth power, sixth power, and all that they have asked, right? There has to be some pattern. I mean, they're not going to ask you to do the whole thing, obviously. Okay. So then it becomes very easy. So you just do one step and everything would have been clear. Let's go to the next one quickly. We also have other questions from the other section to do. Number 11. Yeah, now this is a very interesting question. Yeah, Warrior, you can ask me, you can put it in your chat. Okay, I'll just reply to that once we are done with this section, the first 15 questions. That's okay with you? All right, now coming to this 11th one, most of you would know that if there is no coefficient, then how to do it. But if there are some coefficients, then what to do? So then the strategy is very simple. You don't need to do any huge amount of math. This is actually very easy question, provided you know the trick. Plot the points. So mod of x means you're looking at 0. Okay, mod of x minus 0. So then x minus 1. Okay, x minus 1 is there 2 times. So just think that there are 2 ones with a gap in between. Just assume that there are 2 such ones. Okay, it will help you to solve it faster. Okay, this is a trick I'm giving. And you understand that this gap is 0 because they are the same point. Okay, next plot 2, next plot 4, next plot 6, and then you have 2 times x minus 10, mark 10, 2 times. Now the rule is, check how many points you have marked. Is it an odd number or an even number? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 points. Okay, for 8 points, find out the middle region. Find out the middle region. What is the middle region? This is the middle region. Okay, equal gaps on either side. If there was, let's say, an odd number of terms, then it will be the middle point. There is a single point. Here there is no single point. There is a entire region in the middle, 2 to 4. So fx will be minimum at x ranging from 4 and 2, both inclusive. Now, since they're asking you what is the value of that, just pick any value you feel like. So let's say you plug in x as 2. Okay, plug in x as 2 and then calculate. So you are going to get 2 plus 2 minus 1 is 1 times 2, 2 minus 2, 0, 2 minus 4 mod is 2, 2 minus 6, 4, and 2 minus 10 is negative 8. So 8 times, so basically 16. So we have 16 plus 4, 20, and then 6. So 26 is your answer. Okay, if you do it like this, the question can be solved in like few seconds. Okay, but you need to remember this rule. Okay, if you have 3, then you plot 3 times and do it like that. I hope this is clear. Adit, Heath, are you able to follow this? Did you follow the shortcut? I'll just give you. If there are no coefficients, then even easier, right, Anushka? See, then you don't plot it 2 times. Say your question was this and this only. Okay, so just plot those points only. So you'll have 0, 1, 2, 4, 6, 10 over. Now, how many do you see here? It's still going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still 6. It's still going to be this region. Okay, so that means the minimum of fx will still come here. You just plug in a point and get it. Okay. Now let's say this entire term was missing. This term is not there. So now you see how many points? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 points. So the middle point is what? 2. So now you will put in 2 and check and calculate. Did you get the logic now, Anushka? I guess this one is cleared. Then I'll move on to the next question. All right, number 12. This one is a slightly longer. So you have got 3 terms in AP. So when you have 3 terms in AP, say A, B, C, then we know that A plus C equal to 2B. So directly let's use that. So A is negative 16 plus C, which is this, is 2 times this. All right, the 16 is gone. equation now comes up to so 2 times this again minus 2 times of this. Now 2 to the power x and 2 to the power 2x, there is a relation. So if 2 to the power x is a, then 2 to the power 2x will be a square. So this, when you have minus 1, it basically means a square divided by 2. This would mean 2 to the power a times 16. 2 to the power this is a squared minus 32. So let's cross multiply and stuff. So we have a squared equal to 32a minus 2a squared minus 64, giving us 3a squared minus 32a plus 64 is 0. So now we'll split it. 64 as 8 times 8. 8 3s are 24. 24 and the other 8 will be 32. So the split would be minus 24a minus 8a. 3a minus 8 minus 8 times a minus 8 is 0. So a's value will be either 8 or 8 over 3. And a is 2 to the power x. Find it. Now 2 to the power x can be 8 by 3, but then it's going to be an irrational number. So we'll skip that. We'll instead use 8, which is 2 cube. So x is 3. And that is our answer. So this is like traditional proper way of solving. You have to use the basic idea of arithmetic progression and then get the answer. Everyone check. Heath, Adit, Anushka, Warrior, everyone. Rania, yes, you want me to repeat. Okay, fine. I'll just repeat that. See, this is my third term, C. This is my first term, that is A. And this is the term in between B. Okay? A, B, C are in AP means first plus last is twice the middle. First plus last में 16 cancels out. Twice the middle. Okay? इसमें you do a replacement where raised to 2 to the power x is A, then 2 to the power 2x is square of A. So this equation, if you replace, then you get a squared by 2 is 16a minus a squared minus 32. From there, you end up with this quadratic, which you solve will get you the values of a as 8 and 8 by 3. We are ignoring 8 by 3 because 2 raised to the power irrational numbers only can give you something like 8 by 3, will not get rational. So x is 3. All right, let's go to the next one then. Last one from this section. Now, this is a very interesting question. Depends on how you are approaching it, okay? So, x and y and x have swapped, okay? So, then, ye yaad aana chahiye, this a plus 1 by a. Okay, a plus 1 by a. So, if you look at this, this can be written as half of log of y over x plus half of log of x over y. Base ka power comes as a fraction. Half goes common. Log y base x plus log x base y. Now, if log of y base x is a, then log of x base y is 1 by a. They get swapped, right? They swap. So you have ended up with saying that a plus 1 by a is 2. Now, if you realize that a plus 1 by a is greater than or equal to 2 for positive numbers. Okay, basic inequality coming from arithmetic mean greater than or equal to geometric mean. Okay, you guys should be knowing this. So if a plus a 1 by a is exactly 2, the only solution possible is a is 1. Meaning log of x base y is 1. Meaning x equal to y. That's what we get from the first step. Plug in the second. So you are going to get x equal to x squared minus 30. So quadratic bana ke abhi solve. X squared minus x minus 30 is 0. x minus 6 times x plus 5 is 0. X is either 6 or 5, negative 5. Negative हो नहीं सकता because log of negative numbers are not valid, not defined rather. So x का value is 6. So y is also 6. So this is 36 plus 36, 72. So this is a difficult question. I'm not saying easy, but if you see through the pattern, then something which you can attempt, provided you are good with algebra. Sir, I am done with the first section. So you can take over. Anyone has any doubts? Meanwhile, you can put it in the chat. Rania, did you follow this one? Anushka? And where did you go, Adit and Heath?
Right. So, quickly recapping the section of the first one, there are 8 questions which I should have definitely attempted, 3 which should have left, and couple of the middle section I could have picked up. So, might be roughly 10 questions. If I can attempt get 8 correct, I'm looking at a score of roughly 30, which I think is a very good score in this section. Yes, Rania, 6 is good enough a number for you to be able to get it. And let's start from the second section now. And I will start with question number 17. Is my screen, my voice clear now? In the YouTube, I can still see Sujoy's screen. All right. So therefore, let's quickly now throw fast chalte hain, guys. This section is easy, so we'll slightly step it up here. Square of the difference of two natural numbers is subtracted from the square of the sum of the same two natural number. Let's take any two natural number. कोई भी दो arbitrarily आप ले लीजिए. Let's take 5 and 3. You can take any different also. Square of the difference, मतलब 5 minus 3 का square, that is 4, is subtracted from the square of the sum. Square of the sum, that's 64. So when 64 minus 4 is 60, the result is divided by 4. So I'm again dividing by 4. I'm getting 15. So when I take the variables 5 and 3, my final result is 15, which is nothing but the product. And we know product is what? Product of the LCM and HCF. For any two numbers, we know HCF into LCM is equal to the product. So therefore, that's a very easy one. Straight away, I can get this answer. Clear? Everybody with me on this? Number 18. One of the factors of the number is randomly shown. Now, this is a misprint here. This is actually 3 to the power 7 into 2 to the power 8 into 17 to the power 3. So we know the number of factors will be 7 plus 1 into 8 plus 1 into 3 plus 1. That is 8 into 9 into 4. The chosen factor should be a perfect square. It's a probability question. So my base will become the total number of factors. That's 8 into 9 into 4. Leave it as 8 into 9 into 4. Don't multiply. It will make things easier. Perfect square का मतलब क्या है? Power has to be even. So 3 का power can be 0, 2, 4 or 6. There are 4 cases for 3. 2 का power can be 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8. And 17 का power can be 0 or 2. तो मेरे पास 4 केस 3 का आ रहा है, 5 केस 2 का आ रहा है और 2 केस 17 का आ रहा है. So my result is 4 into 5 into 2. So 4 and 4 cancel, 2 and 8 cancel. The result is simply 5 by 36. What about the Reet? Are you okay? Rania, Anushka Tiwari, are you following this quickly? Why have we taken 6? 6 कहाँ लिया था मैंने? Even powers are required, no? So till 7th I can go for 3. So I took 0, 2, 4, 6. Moving further, typical heights and distance question. Vertical tower 200 meter high. Observe a car moving away from the tower on a straight horizontal road from the foot of the tower. At 11 a.m., the angle of depression of the car is 45 degree. So angle of depression means this is 45. So therefore, this is also 45. So at 11 a.m., this is the situation, and this distance is 200 meters. At 11:02, this shifts. At 11:02 a.m., this angle becomes 30 degree. So which means this whole thing, if this is 30, therefore this will be 60 degree. So if 200 meter is opposite 30 degree, then opposite 60 degree, it will be 200 root 3. Which means in 2 minutes, I have traveled 200 root 3 minus 200. So if I calculate 200 root 3 minus 200, it roughly comes to approximately 146 meters. And this is in 2 minutes. So per hour, it will be 146 into 30 by 1000 because kilometers per hour दिया हुआ है. So roughly it's 4.39. Options are very, very far apart. You can be very approximate in your calculation. Even if you're jumping up a few decimals here and there, it won't make any difference. Clear, guys? थोड़ा फास्ट रिस्पॉन्ड करिए बिकॉज थोड़ा फास्ट चलते हैं तो स्लो जा रहा है सेशन. Next, I'll go to question 23. Lot of permutation combination coming up. How many ways can the letter of the word management be arranged so that no two vowels appear together? In any question where no two things should appear together, इसमें vowels कितने हैं? A, E, E. 4 vowel हैं there are 4 vowels and M, N, G, M, N, T. So 4 are vowels and there are 6 consonants. It's a 10-letter word. So I will arrange the 6 consonants first. In how many ways can they be arranged? 6 factorial divided by 2 for 2m and 2 for 2n's. Now I have 7 gaps. In these 7 gaps, I can fill 4 vowels in 7C 4 ways. And these 4 vowels can be arranged in 4 factorial divided by 2 into 2 because there are 2 A's and 2 E's. If you solve for this, first option will get the answers. I am not getting into the calculation part. I am just giving you the brief breakup as to what should have been the method. और ये फास्ट होना पड़ेगा. देखिए यहाँ पे आपको 1 मिनट 1.5 मिनट में क्वेश्चन निकालना है. इसमें जो भी टाइम लगेगा बेसिक कैलकुलेशन में लगेगा. The framework you should have got it very quickly. Are you okay with me on this, guys? Clear ho? Heath, Rania, quick response. Let's go to 24. In a room, there are n persons whose average height is 160. M more persons join whose average height is 172. Then the average of everybody becomes 164. So n लोगों का average 160 है, m लोगों का average 172 है, weighted average 164 है. Simple allegation लगाइए. 8, 4. The ratio of n is to m is 2 is to 1. But आपको पूछा m is to n. Be very careful. Therefore, the answer will be 1 is to 2. I mean, these are half a minute questions. Very quickly, you need to run through them. Okay with this, guys? आगे बढ़ूं? (25) in a right angle triangle ABC. In a right angle triangle ABC, hypotenuse AC is 13. A line drawn connecting the midpoint D of AB, the midpoint E of AC. Now we all know the midpoint formula. If I join the two midpoints, then this line is parallel to the third and half of the third. That means this will become 12. I mean, this is an absolute sitter. From the midpoint theorem, you should be able to get to this. I'll skip 26, I'll come to 27. Number of 4-digit integers which are greater than 1000 and divisible by both 2 and 3 but not by 5. Both 2 and 3 means it should be divisible by 6 but not by 30. 6 और 5 का LCM. ये बेसिक फंडा है. 4-digit numbers greater than 1000. There will be 9000 4-digit numbers we are looking at. From 1001 till 9999. So 9000 numbers में divided by 6 मतलब 1500 number divisible by 6 है और 300 number divisible by 30 है. So therefore answer will be 1500 minus 300, that's 1200. अभी ये सब questions में क्या होता है? The edge numbers, the border numbers sometimes can create issues. तो अगर आंसर 1200, 1201, 121199 इस तरह से रहेगा, then one has to be very careful. But when the numbers are so far apart, don't bother whether there are 9000 or 8999 or 9001 terms. You simply divide by 6 and divide by 30. Ideally इसमें first term और last term करके हमको करना चाहिए. But given that the options give me enough kind of leeway, I can easily go ahead and do this way. 29 में आते हैं. 5-digit number ABCDE is divisible by 6. So if ABCDE is divisible by 6, then A plus B plus C plus D plus E is divisible by 3 and E is an even digit. Not necessarily divisible by 6. So obviously first one will be the right answer here because यहाँ लास्ट डिजिट A है. अभी A इवन है कि नहीं हमको पता नहीं, तो जरूरी नहीं है कि ये 6 से डिविजिबल हो. बाकी सब जगह देखिए लास्ट डिजिट इवन है, मतलब ये 2 से डिविजिबल है और सबका सम भी 3 से डिविजिबल है. सो ऑल दीज 3 हैव टू बी डिविजिबल बाय 6. क्लियर? Let's come to 32. The cost of a jewelry is proportional to the square of the weight. Okay, so C is equal to KW square. A jewelry weighing 10 grams is having a value of 3600. So K therefore becomes 36. You have to find the cost of a piece weighing 4 grams. So 36 into 4 square, 36 into 16, that is 576. अब इस तरह क्वेश्चन एकदम सिटर है. आप जितनी जल्दी वो करके आगे निकलेंगे आपके पास बाकी क्वेश्चंस का टाइम बचेगा. 33 is R2. थोड़ा टफ है क्वेश्चन. Let's try to understand this. Sum of the first 15 terms in an AP is 200. But sum of the next 15 is 350. So देखिए A1 से लेके A15 तक का सम is 200 and A16 से A30 तक का सम is 350. We have to find the common difference. So अब देखिए जब सम 200 होगा तो मिडिल टर्म इज द एवरेज नंबर. So middle term is the 8th term and here the middle term is the 23rd term. So A8 is equal to 200 by 15 or 40 by 3 and A23 is 350 by 15 or 70 by 3. अब अगर 8th टर्म पता है 23rd टर्म पता है, A8 से लेके A23 तक there are 15 times common difference will come. Okay? ये आप सॉल्व भी करेंगे तो आपका D कॉमन निकल जाएगा. D यहां पे आपका 2/3 आएगा. A plus n minus 1D फॉर्मूला लगा सकते हैं बट डायरेक्ट भी आपका निकल जाएगा बिकॉज A8 और A23 अगर लेते हैं उनके बीच में 15 बार कॉमन डिफरेंस आएगा एंड 70/3 minus 40/3 is 10 and that 10 15 times common difference is coming within that 10. So 10 by 15 straight away gives you 2/3. I hope this 15 is clear. 10 तो easy है दोनों का difference. 15 I hope is clear is A8 और A23. There are 16 terms here. A8 को अगर first term लेते हैं AP का और A23 को अगर 16 term हो जाएगा तो 15 बार उसमें common difference आता है. So the difference है that's equivalent to 15D. So 15D is 10. So therefore D is 2/3. थोड़ा difficult था but manageable. 34. This is a beautiful question. थोड़ा difficult है but I will really want to spend some time making you understand this. In a 400-meter race, Ashok beats Bipin and Chandan by 15 seconds and 25 seconds. इसके मतलब क्या है कि अशोक reaches 15 सेकंड पे, Bipin reaches 15 seconds later and Chandan reaches 25 seconds later. And Ashok beats Bipin by 50 meters. इसके मतलब क्लियरली हम क्या बोल सकते हैं that Ashok beats Bipin by 15 seconds and Ashok beats Bipin by 50 meters. इसके मतलब Bipin covers 50 meters in 15 seconds. Sorry, this is 150. This is misprint. This is 150 meters. Sorry, Ashok. I think the misprint here, guys. It will be Ashok beats Bipin by 150 meters, which means Bipin's speed is 150 by 15. That is 10 meters per second. अब अगर बिपिन का स्पीड 10 मीटर्स पर सेकेंड है तो 400 मीटर रेस में बिपिन टेक्स 40 seconds. Ashok takes 15 seconds lesser, which means 25 seconds. Chandan takes 10 seconds more, that means 50 seconds. Question is, by how many meters does Bipin beat Chandan? मतलब जब बिपिन पहुंच जाता है तब चंदन कितना शॉर्ट है? तो 40 सेकंड में चंदन would have covered in 40 seconds. चंदन का स्पीड इज 8 meters per second. अगर वो 50 सेकंड ले रहा है तो चंदन का स्पीड is 400 by 50. That's 8 meters per second. So Chandan would have covered in 40 seconds 320 meters, which means Bipin would beat Chandan by 80 meters. So सबसे पहले इसमें आपको बिपिन का स्पीड निकालना है, and once you get बिपिन का स्पीड, then you will be able to easily get the timings. उससे आपको चंदन का स्पीड मिल जाएगा और फिर चंदन का डिस्टेंस भी आराम से मिल जाएगा. क्लियर? Couple of responses would have helped, guys. Are you okay with this? Heath, are you there? I'm not hearing some time from you guys. Rania, Heath, Anushka, is this clear? सबको सुन रहा है ना? थोड़ा सा I hope I am being able to communicate. Yeah, very good one. Thanks, Rania. Let's come to 38. In a bowl containing 60 ml orange juice, 40 ml water is poured. तो आपके पास ऑरेंज है, वाटर है और एप्पल है. 60 ml आप ऑरेंज है, 40 ml water you have added. Thereafter 100 ml of apple juice is poured. So total you have 200 ml. Madhu drinks 50 ml of this fruit punch. तो वो 1/4 पी गई है. तो remaining will be 45 ml of orange, 30 ml of water and 75 ml of apple. 150 ml ये composition बचा है. Proportion of orange juice needs to be higher for better taste. How much orange juice should be poured into the fruit punch in order to bring up the level of orange juice to 50%? अभी orange juice 45 ml है, तो 45 plus x divided by 150 plus x should be half. Simply आप option से जाइए, 60 ml will be the correct answer. 105 by 210 will be half. Just put options and see where this equation holds, or you can solve it also. Moving on further, 40. So this is an absolute sitter. The length of the sides of a triangle are x, 21 and 40, where x is the shortest side. Abhi, we know that for any three sides, for a triangle A plus B should be greater than C. तो अभी क्लियर है इसमें से एक ही पॉसिबल वैल्यू 20, 20 plus 21 is greater than 40. For all the other options, this will not hold. So straight away you will get 20 as the answer. Now moving further, this is a caselet of 41 to 45 5 questions. In every year in Indore, you get one such case. I think if we have out of 30 questions in the second section, if I have gone to attempt 22, 23 questions, these 5 questions are very critical and should be attempted by everybody. Okay? This should be attempted by everybody. तो इसको हम लोग देखते हैं. A showroom is open on all 7 days of the week throughout the year, Monday to Sunday. 5 employee हैं. Every day except Sunday, 2 employees are required. While on Sunday, 3 employees need to work. Every employee works for 3 days. So 6 days, 2 employee हैं. That's 12. 1 day, 3 employee हैं. तो total 15 employee days. And every 5 employee हैं, 3-3 दिन काम करते हैं. That is more or less kind of matching it. Every employee works on 2 consecutive days, while the third day is not consecutive. So 2 consecutive day है, third day अलग है. Alex and Dilip work together on Tuesday and Wednesday, while the other working day differs from them. तो एक छोटा सा टेबल हम लोग ऐसा बनाना पड़ेगा इसमें आपको. Alex and Dilip work together on Tuesday and Wednesday, while the other working day differs from them. Fine. Remember, Monday 2 आदमी काम करेंगे, Tuesday सब दिन 2 आदमी काम करेंगे, Sunday 3 आदमी काम करेंगे. तो अगर Tuesday, Wednesday का 2 आदमी मिल चुका है, which means the other 3 people are not working neither on Tuesday nor on Wednesday. Neither Baba nor Kathy, that is B or C, works with Alex on any day. So B and C will not work with A. C does not work either on Saturday or on Monday. तो C Saturday को भी काम नहीं करती है. और मंडे को भी काम नहीं करती है. और हर आदमी 3-3 दिन काम करेगा. ये भी आपको दिया हुआ है. मतलब C will have to work on Thursday, Friday and Sunday. That's the only combination possible for C. Till here is, am I making sense, guys? समझ में आ रहा है? Not hearing from you. Let me reconnect to the YTube because okay. Now, what are the other conditions given to you here? That B and C will never work with A. So if C works on Thursday, Friday and Sunday, A will not work on Thursday, Friday or Sunday. For everybody, 2 days are consecutive, third day is not consecutive, which means A cannot work on Monday. So A will have to work on Saturday. So A का मेरा 3 दिन मिल गया हमको. Now, B on, so that means B will not work on Saturday because A is working on Saturday. Now B का consecutive day therefore has to be Thursday, Friday. Because there is no other 2 consecutive days I am getting. So for Thursday I already have 2 tick marks. So these people don't work on Thursday, these people don't work on Friday. That's clear. Now for D. D will definitely not work on Monday because D has worked on Tuesday, Wednesday. So Monday B is clearly working. E is clearly working on Monday. Monday का दोनों दिन मेरा मिल गया, दोनों आदमी. For B, my 3 days are clear. So B is not working on Sunday, which means D will work on Sunday, E will work on Sunday. Sunday का तीनों आदमी clear हो गया. D already 3 tick marks are there, so D doesn't work on Saturday, and therefore E will work on Saturday. So my entire table therefore becomes very, very easy to finish. So we quickly go to the answers. One of the days Alex works on. I think we can skip this because once you've got this table in place, the answers will be very easy to get. Guys, are you okay with me on this? Everybody clear? So Sujay, now you can come up with your questions. I will stop the screen share. Sujay? Sujay sir will continue for the remaining questions in the second.
So we are going to do question number 16. Yeah. So everyone is fine, right? You can see the screen and hear me as well. So now here, so you have a matrix question, 2 by 2 matrix. They're asking a to the power 2022 is how much? Okay. So for this one, what we can do is, so I can take out half common and write it as 2100. And then when I am doing square of that, so basically half times half. So a squared will come out to be, and you have to multiply these two. So using the basic matrix multiplication rule, what do we get? You get 1/4. Then this element here becomes 4. Okay, 2 0 with 2 1, so that's 4. Then this becomes 1 0 with 2 1, so that's 2, and 0 0. Now if you look at this, this is actually the same as the original matrix A. So because I can take the half outside and multiply, right? And then 4 by 2 becomes 2, 2 by 2 becomes 1, and you will get exactly the same thing. So a squared is a, okay? So that means any power of a you take. So once a squared is a, then every time if you keep multiplying, you keep on getting a. So a to the power any number is just set a only. So the answer would be option number 2 because none of these are basically a. So answer is option 2. Okay. I hope this was clear. Let's go to the next question. Next is number 20. I'll just open the chat once. Yeah, okay. So number 20 here. So as you can see, this is a ellipse, okay? The ellipse form is what? X squared by a squared plus y squared by b squared is 1. So now the question here is basically, what sort of an ellipse is that? Okay. Is it on the y-axis or is it on the x-axis? Okay, the focus. So when we do that, so we have to basically compare the denominators, right? If b is bigger than a, then it is on the y-axis. If a is bigger than b, it is on the x-axis. So let's just say we want to compare cos of root 2 minus cos of root 3 versus sine of root 2 minus sine of root 3. So now comparing this, instead of comparing as it is, what we do is switch, take the cos root 3 on that side and the sine on this side. Okay. So now square both sides. So if I square it, this will now become cos squared root 2 plus sine squared root 2 minus 2 cos and sine versus, we still don't know, so I'm just keeping versus this unchanged, squaring cos square root 3 plus sine squared root 3 minus 2 cos root 3 sine root 3. Now this becomes 1, this also becomes 1, so it is 1 minus 2 cos root 2 sine root 2, 1 minus 2 cos root 3 sine root 3. We can ignore the 1 because it is common to both sides, so subtracting 1 from both sides. And then we multiply a minus sign, okay? Remember, when we multiply a minus sign, the inequality, whichever it is, will reverse. So we'll keep a point that here the inequality has been switched or reversed, okay? And we have got 2 cos root 2 sine root 2 and 2 cos root 3 sine root 3. Now, 2 times cos A cos B is sine of 2A, right? Sine A cos B plus cos A sine B is basically that. So this becomes sine of 2 root 2 and this is sine of 2 root 3. Clearly this is bigger. Now if this is bigger here, that means here it's switched. So that means originally it must have been the other way around. That means this was the bigger quantity and hence it will be on the y-axis because that is the bigger one. Okay, let us now moving on to the next one. If you have any queries, you can just keep putting it in the chat because it is coming a little in a little delayed form. Then I'll go back to that and explain, okay, once we are done with this, once I get to see that message actually. So next number is question number 21. Here there is a typing mistake. Here this would actually be f of 0 squared plus f0, okay, equal to what? So now if I want to, like, you can see f of zeros all over, right? So we'll just plug in 0 there in place of x and y. So if I put x equal to y equal to 0 there, what do we get here? So it says for all non-negative, right? So we can put 0 if you want. So f of 0 plus f0 is 0 times f0 plus 0. So f of f0 becomes 0. So now if you observe carefully, f of f0 is 0, means you're getting this back, right? So obviously f of 0 must have been 0, because then what will happen is this f0 can be replaced by 0 and then we'll again have f of 0 which is 0, so it will match. So f of 0 is equal to 0. So the question they are asked is f of 0 whole square, so that is 0 whole square which is 0 plus f of 0 which is 0, so the result is 0. So it is the fourth option. Okay, till here everyone is fine, I hope. Everyone can hear me and see me. Okay. Next, I'll just log into the chat to the YouTube once more because I can't see the chat. Just a second. Yes, still here everyone is fine. Rania, sorry, Heath. So shall we move on then? Next question. After 21, we have number 22. So we have to figure out all the relations from A to B are equally likely. So we have to figure out how many relations there are, and from there also figure out how many functions there are. So if you look at 1, 2, 3, look at the Cartesian product of the two sets. There are going to be 6 elements, right? So the total number of relations that we have for these 6 elements is 2 raised to the power 64 relations. And for functions, the number of functions would be, so if you have 1, 2, and 3, and you are mapping it from 1, 2, 3 to AB, so 1 has 2 options, 2 also has 2 options, 3 also has 2 options, so 8 functions. So probability of relation being a function is 8 over 64. So that is 1 over 8. Okay, guys, still here. I hope everything is fine. All right, let's move on then. Next is question number 26. Yeah. So here we have two modulus terms. So the points would be 4 and -4. So we have to solve for the three regions. On the right hand side of both the points, both modulus terms will be positive. So you are going to get, we'll remove the mod signs and just retain the sign. So plus and plus, and that is -35 equal to 0. So that's x squared plus 2x minus 35 is 0. So that would be x plus 7 times x minus 5 is 0. X would be 5 or -7. Now -7 is not possible because we are looking for the region greater than 4. So the only solution is x equal to 5. Now coming to this other side, so here when you are left of both of them, so we'll remove this mod and the other mod and put a negative sign in front of them. So that is x squared minus, and again a minus. The 4s will again cancel. Now this time the equation will now change to x minus 7, x plus 5. So you will get x equal to 7 or -5. Again 7 is not possible because you are looking less than -4. So -5 satisfies. Finally, if you try for the region in between, you are not going to get any solution. The equation is going to be x squared. Now to the left of 4 but to the right of -4. So this one will remain as it is. This one will change sign. And we will get x squared equal to 27. Yeah, so that would be x equal to 3 root 3 or -3 root 3, both of which do not fall within this boundary of 4 and -4. So both of them are rejected. So finally your answers are these two. They are asking you sum of the squares of them. So it's 25 plus 25. So the answer is 50. Okay. I hope this is now clear. Question number 26. Next, let's move on. Next, we have question number 28. Yes, okay. So, the Cartesian product, two of the elements are given, 1, 4 and 4, 1. Now, this one is easy. You see 1, 4, you see 4, 1. So, obviously, the other two terms must be 1, 1 and 4, 4. Okay. So, basically, the set A will have the elements 1, 4 and B will also have the elements 1, 4. So they are saying A cross B and B cross A. So they are obviously going to be equal because when you do A cross B, you will have 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 1, 4, 4, 4, 1. When you do B cross A, you will have 4, 1, 4, 4, 1, 1, 1, 4. So it's the same set of elements, only in a different, arranged in a different order. So the answer would be option 3. All right. So we are done with the 28th one. This was very easy. I mean, you should have definitely done this. Next, number 30, another easy question. So here we have fx is x over mod x, and they are asking you all possible values. So as you know, mod x is equal to x. If x is greater than equal to 0, then x over mod x is going to be 1, provided x is not 0, because that's already mentioned. And mod x is equal to negative x if x is negative. Negative of a negative is positive. That's the idea. So x divided by mod x will now be minus 1. So the answer will be either 1 or minus 1. I hope this is clear till here. The questions were not very difficult, except a couple in the beginning, especially that ellipse and focus question. Let's go on. Next, we have question number 31. Yes. So they are saying 81 to the power x plus 81 to the power y. Basically, this is y, right? Fx y is 3. Okay. So now they are saying you have to find the range of the y values. Now, as you can see, if I put x to be 1/4, x is 1/4, then what happens? I get 3. So 3 plus 81 to the power fx is 3, and then you end up getting 81 to the power fx is 0, but that is not possible. Okay, 81 to the power fx cannot reach 0. So that means x cannot get to 1/4. So essentially we can think it in this way: 81 to the power fx, or let's put it like this: 81 to the power x is 3 minus 81 to the power fx, and fx, therefore, to ensure that 81 to the power something is not 0, then fx must be less than 1/4. Okay, fx has to be less than 1/4. At 1/4 it becomes impossible. Less than 1/4 is fine, and after that it can go any value. That's not important. Okay, so if I have something like large negative numbers also, then it will basically be 3 minus some fraction, and 3 minus some fraction will be something positive. So 81 to the power something can be a positive quantity, may be irrational, but it will be possible. So any value of y which is less than 1/4 is fine. So the first option. Okay, next, number 35. So here we will use this property. Let's just simplify this first. So here we have log of 2 cube base 3 cube less than equal to log of x base 3 less than 1 by 9 to the power log of 3 base 2. Okay. So as you can see here, sorry, I wrote it wrong. 9 to the power 1 by log of 3 base 2. So now, as you can see here, this 3 and this 3 will come in front, is multiplier and divisor, and then they will cancel out. So we'll end up with log of 2 base 3 less than equal to log of x base 3. And now here they will swap 9 to the power log of 2 base 3. Now if you look at this one, 9 to the power log of 2 base 3 can be written as 3 squared log of 2 base 3. So that would be 3 to the power log of 4 base 3. And since these two are the same, this will be 4. Okay. So we end up with log of 2 base 3, log of x base 3, 4. And then this 4, instead of writing as 4, since it is everyone has a base 3, so we can just write it as log of 81 base 3. 3 to the power 4 is 81, just to keep the parity. And here there is no equal to sign though. So comparing, we have x is less than 81 and greater than or equal to 2. So the answer would be the fourth option. Okay, I hope this was fine. Next, we have question number 36. 36 was easy. So you have to figure out the value of k for which they are concurrent. Okay, so that means we'll just solve for these two, figure out the value of x and y, plug it in here, and get it. Okay, we don't have to use any high concepts here. X minus y equal to 1. Here 2x plus 3y is 12. Let's multiply this with 3. Then add them. So we get x as 5, we plug it in, the y comes out to be 4. And then we substitute it here, 2 times x, 3 times 4 is, no, 1 second. Sorry, I write 5 here, I wrote 3, this will be 3, sorry. 5x is 15, right? X is 3, obviously. So 3 minus y is 1, so y is 2. Careless mistake, okay. Then 2 times x, that becomes 6. 2 times, okay, I'm writing it again. 2 times 3 minus 3 times y is 2, is k, minus k. So this becomes 0. So k is 0. So that's the second option. Okay. You can just keep it simple for this one. Just make sure you don't make silly mistakes like mine. So it's 3 and 2 are not 5 and 4. Okay, so that was 36. Next we have 37. Yes, so this was a little kind of a weird question. And you have to figure out the median value of these numbers. Okay, so let us write them down. Okay, what these values are. So the first one is, okay, let me just log into the chat once more. I can't see anything. Am I visible, by the way? You can hear me, right? Because I have lost access to the chat. Yeah, okay, I'm back. So now here we have basically got, so theta is between 0 and pi by 4. So if you look at this, at pi by 4 exactly, so at pi by 4 exactly, sine of pi by 4 and cos of pi by 4 become equal. And before that, the sine values are smaller. Okay. So if I think of some values, let's say some theta for which sine theta is 0.6 and then cos theta from Pythagoras theorem is 0.8. I just use the Pythagorean triplet there. So we have got values like, so 0.6 to the power 0.6, then log of 0.8 base 2. Then we have 0.8 to the power 0.6, then log of 0.6 base 2. Then, okay, so this is A, this is B, then this is C. So this is 0.6 to the power 0.8, then log of 0.8 base 2, and finally 0.6 to the power 0.6 log of 0.6 base 2. Now, if you look at this carefully, one thing you can easily figure out would be that these two terms, the A and the D, okay, these are the middle values. B and C are going to be the extremes, C being the largest, because see, both of these are going to be negative. This term is also negative, this term is also negative, but then this will be a larger negative and this will be a larger value. So this will end up becoming a large number with a negative sign. I mean, large not in the sense like a huge number, it still be fractional in decimals, but then compared to B and C, B will be a smaller value. In between, you will have A and D in some order. We don't even need to figure that out. So this will be the pattern. C will be the larger of them, B will be the smaller of them. So the median will be A and D in any order, take the average. So you can mark option 1. Here it is better to figure out the relative position values instead of trying to analytically figure out who is the larger one or the smaller one. Okay. So this is how we can do this. This was a difficult question. You should not have wasted time on this, and if required, skip it. So this is a time-consuming one. And the last one we have is number 39. Yes. So this one we'll just figure out the determinant quickly. So this one is a times bc minus a squared, then minus b times b squared minus ac, plus c times ba minus c squared. So that is, you will end up with minus common a cube plus b cube plus c cube, and then plus abc plus abc plus abc. So minus 3abc. Now you know this can be factorized as a plus b plus c times a squared plus a squared plus b squared plus c squared minus ab minus bc minus ac. This can be actually factorized again as half of a minus b squared, b minus c squared, and c minus a squared. Now, in this case, therefore, this whole thing becomes a negative with a plus b plus c multiplied with this, and a plus b plus c are all positive. Here you have a positive, and here you have a series of positive terms. So that means this whole thing is positive with a minus multiplied, hence it is negative. So it is the second option. Okay, so these are the questions. I'll give it to Nikunj sir.
Thank you, Sanjay. Just please give me 2 minutes to wrap it up, please.
Yeah, I'm done with the session. You can take over.
You can stop your screen share.
Yeah, I'll stop sharing. I'll stop sharing.
So, guys, quickly, if I wrap it up in the next 2 minutes, हम देखते हैं these 30 questions which we had in the second section, 20 of them were in R1, which means we should have attempted these 20 questions. 4 of them were in R3, which we should not have attempted. तो अगर हमको प्रॉपर कम से कम 75-80 का स्कोर इस सेक्शन में लाना है, I need to get around 20 net questions correct. So therefore, these 20 plus another 3-4 from here. So if I attempt 23 and I get 21 correct and 2 wrong, I am more or less scoring a net score of 80. I need to get a 75-80 here. I need to get a 30-35, around 30 in the first. So math से मुझे 100 marks चाहिए और 130 plus मुझे English से चाहिए. Then that whole game of 230 plus comes in. It's a very fine balance. You will not have people scoring 260 here. Okay, so when I'm saying overall cutoff at 230 or 230 to 250 is where people will lie. There will be not too many people lying above 260 here. So in order to get that 230, 240 mark, one has to be sure of getting around 110 roughly in the first two, and around 150, around 140, 150 in the around in the second. So अगर quick wrap up देखते हैं, first and non-MCQ में I'm saying a score of around 30. Second में I'm scoring around, let's say, 75 to 80. And English, which is the main, I'm scoring around, let's say, 140. So this should give me a range of 240. इस तरीके का रेंज हम लोग देखेंगे, then I think we'll be in the safe net. Okay, guys, thank you. I hope this was helpful, and wishing all the best for the exam coming up on the 12th. And I'll take your leave here. Thank you for the session. Hope it was helpful.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye. सुजो इसको एंड स्ट्रीम मत करिएगा, just close it, ना?